Good morning, everybody. My pot is finally getting ready to whistle at me saying, hey, turn me off. Today is January 23rd. I got an eyelash in my eye that's poking me. Sorry about that. My name is Jamie. Welcome to Heavenly Dreams Homestead. I almost said Dairy Goats because that is what my channel was named previously. But since 2.5 years ago or so, I got into New Zealand rabbits again after being not raising them for about 10 years or so. I finally got back into them, so that's why I decided to change our Heavenly Dreams Dairy Goats to Heavenly Dreams Homestead, because I'm doing more gardening now and just other homesteading projects. Today I am planning to get the bottom part of my blanket wetted and stretched, so I think I'm going to actually do that as another video for maybe tomorrow's video. I'll do that later today is what I'm stating. But I'm actually getting around to go out and do chores, check on the new babies, make sure everybody's still good. We did get down into like -3 was supposed to be our high temperature for yesterday's evening. Now it's already above 20 today, which makes a huge difference. And I want to say, for those that have been with us since last June and that knows that we had the storm, it was a downspout from a tornado that came through and took down quite a few of our trees, and 4 of them ended up on our house. Well, they finally came out after 7 months and did the insulation, and I can say what a difference that makes in your house when your house is completely insulated properly. Having all that in the ceiling and then on our south wall for both the bedrooms. The one bedroom that my youngest son, Elijah, that's his room. He hasn't been here since June anyways. He actually left that Saturday from here and spent Father's Day with his dad, and then his sister, my middle daughter, who lives in Ohio, she came up and got him, and then she spent the whole entire summer till the end of August, I think it was, with her. And thankfully he wasn't here, because the biggest tree that fell actually went through the ceiling and was hanging in the roof of the house in his room. So that room has the full ceiling taken out, and then the whole one wall. And then in our other room, which was my middle daughter's room when she was living here before she moved out, is now my office / storage room. That room, there was about 2 foot of the roof actually had to come down because it was wet, and then that whole wall had to come down because it was wet. What in the world was that? Or am I just seeing things? I thought I just seen it looked like a dragonfly fly through here, but that can't be. I think it was a bird flying, and it, with my lens being 3D, I think that's what I was seeing. It freaks me out. But yeah, I'm excited. I got a message stating someone was interested in my rabbit blanket and wanted a little more details, and I kind of gave her the price of what I'm looking at to get out of it, what I believe that I'll have into it with my time and everything. And then I asked her, since I haven't ordered the backing, if she is interested, what color of backing would she like on it. And then I just have to start saving as much as I can. And my problem about breeding, I tried breeding rabbits when I first got these rabbits. Every 4 weeks, and I had mamas with babies. When they were 4 weeks old, I would take them out, breed them. Then at 8 weeks, I would put babies into another cage. Mama would be, well, actually it was about 7 weeks I did it. And then Mama would be in her cage. I'd pull the babies out, and then she would kennel again. I don't have the cage space to actually do that, because I don't want to keep a litter size of like 8. My litter sizes that I normally have are 8 to 10 kits. I do have a couple that have smaller litters that are fantastic. Fantastic foster moms. Those rabbits have smaller litters, and I'm okay with that because they're fantastic foster moms, and I can put some of the larger litters, a couple of them, in with those mothers, and they'll, to the point of where they have 8 kits, and it's just easier to do it that way. I try to make sure that it's different colors than what they have, so I can kind of keep track if I want to keep that possible doe kit that's in there from the other doe, but we'll see. But I think for now on, so I can kind of rotate a little more, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to breed at about 6 to 8 weeks and just try to rotate them out. If I can, I'll just put more rabbits into more babies, more babies, and hopefully they get along. But my thing is if I have, for say, blues, then I don't know who's the mama to who, but I do have a cage that I want to try to get put together tomorrow, so that'll probably be a video. I'm actually going to just bring them inside and try to get them together then. I've got one cage that I was thinking about just keeping so I could put my broken orange, almost 15-week-old doe into that, so she'd have her own cage. But I still got to get other cages. I've got 10 ordered from TSC of the Do More cages, which I really like them. They're I can't say they're cheap because they're not. The 36 by 30s is what I use for everybody. And then I'll put 2 of those together and make a 6-foot cage for my feed outs. I want to be able to have 10 total cages for feed outs. 10 6-foot cages is my goal. But if I could do more this year, that would even be a blessing. And then being able to keep does out of each batch of litters that I keep, really paying attention to see like what does, or what babies anyways, baby rabbits, kits, just really keep eyes on them. And I look for meatiness, and I've really kept my lines with my Darius line. Darius is my only buck that I have that is not pedigreed. He came from a New Zealand breeder, but they did not keep pedigrees on everybody. They didn't care about that because all they cared about was just the meat purpose. And I can say that boy that I have, all my bucks are here forever. They're not going anywhere. But I really like my Darius line. No matter what doe I breed him to, his kits that he throws are very friendly, and that's something that I like. I like a very friendly, in-your-face type rabbit. I want good personalities, friendliness, good width on the hinds, good width in the loins, and a good set of shoulders on them. And Darius throws that to all his kits. Now, I have quite a few does from him. I'm going to try to think off the top of my head who they all are. My first sets that I kept was out of Haley, and I like my Haley line. Haley is a smaller type doe, but her fur feels like silk. And she actually was from a New Zealand show breeder who shows, and she actually got best of fur in her class of like 50 rabbits. So I do have my broken blue buck is from that same farm, that same breeder, and she's out of Waterville, Michigan. So we always meet in Paw Paw at the TSC. When I buy a rabbit from her, she'll meet me halfway there, and I really appreciate her. She's an older lady, very knowledgeable, especially when it comes to colors, and Haley likes to throw some very unique looking colors no matter what buck I breed her to. So right now, she was the one that I kept Darius's first daughters out of, which is Pumpkin and Hannah. They were out of the same litter. They're 2 different colors. Pumpkin is a broken red with dark points, and dark points means she's got dark, like almost dark brown ears, not quite black, but they're brown. The face on her is a darker color, and I think her feet are too. But her overcoat of her body is orange. She's a broken orange. Hannah is a broken black, and she's got not a whole lot of black on her. It's kind of minimal. She's more kind of white than anything, but she's a good mother. Pumpkin's probably a better mother. She's easier to breed than Hannah, which I'm noticing. Hannah is actually a bigger doe than Pumpkin, but that's okay because they're out of Darius, and that's something that I really, really like is my Darius line. Then I've got, trying to think who else I have in the order that I did them in. Let me think here. I know last year I bred Darius to my biggest blue doe, and that is Blue Diamond. I've kept 2 does out of her, which was Zoe, which finally has kits. I think they're 5 weeks old. She's finally got kits on her. And then her sister's got a litter, which I'm keeping a broken red from, Chloe, and she's bred back for next month's kendling. So that'll be her second litter. That's another set of daughters I've kept out of Darius. Princess, my black doe, I bred her to Darius the first time around, and I kept Belle, which is a broken black doe that I have. She's quite large. Princess is a little more on the larger side too. Not quite as large as like Belle, but she's got a lot more meat to her. Belle is her daughter. Bluebell is who I was trying to compare to. So Bluebell has more fur. She's more fur, but she is a bigger doe. And I've noticed that on her offspring so far, especially if I breed her to like another blue buck, like I did to Samson, and I've got 2 daughters out of him from her that are blues. I don't know what the heck she is trying to eat. She's trying to play in our bag that's got Billy's pop bottles in there, glass pop bottles. He likes the Joneses pop because it's made with cane sugar and it's not high fructose corn syrup or even corn syrup, and they're in a glass bottle because we're trying to stay away from plastics. But anyways, so Belle is one that's in a litter, and I do have a daughter from her. Like Pumpkin, I have a daughter from her too that I kept. So I've got granddaughters in my colony too that are from Darius lines. And both those daughters are bred for next month's babies. And I know that Lily, which is a Belle daughter, who's out of Princess, who's out of Darius, she's also out of Samson. Lily is a Samson daughter too. And she is bred to Elijah, my broken blue broken blue buck. I think that is all the daughters I actually have. So I've got, 5 daughters out of Darius. And then I've got 2 granddaughters, 3. I should have around 4 granddaughters or so, or maybe even 5. That'll be from his line too. Now, the next line that I have that I really like is my Elijah line. I've got 1 daughter so far out of him and out of my Blue Diamond, sorry. Bluebell is my biggest blue doe. Blue Diamond is my other doe that's a fantastic foster mom. She's actually got baby kits on her right now that are 5 weeks old, and I bred her to Samson specifically for blues, and she gave me solid blues, and then she's taking care of her littermate sisters, 2 white babies that were from Champ, my red buck. So that doe right there, her name is Lavender. She's a broken blue, very beautiful doe, and she's a little on the larger side. I noticed that Elijah's babies, I call him Eli, but his paper name is Elijah. I noticed that his litters that I had were really big muscled in the rumps. They had really thick, long loins across the top of the rabbit, and then they have really nice, set, thick shoulders. Now, Darius throws almost exactly the same, but Elijah is he's more rounded and more more of a taller type rabbit than what Darius is. Darius is more long, but when you squish him together like you're supposed to make the roundness, he can do that too. So I'm trying to cross, and I did cross some does of Darius's daughters with Elijah to try to keep daughters from. So right now I've got one daughter, like I said, out of him. I've got one daughter out of Haley in him. I've got one daughter out of Honey in him. I've got one daughter out of Blue in Elijah. And then I've got, that's it. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got roughly four daughters out of Elijah, and some of them are a little over 15 weeks old. They're gonna be probably being bred in March for April babies. So I'll have another new set of rabbits, at least 5, that'll be ran into the set of being able to start kendling. And then I did some repeat breedings, the ones that actually kendled this time. There's nobody here. I don't know. He hears something and thinks somebody's here, but nobody's here. And then having my repeats, I've just thought like, well, it's okay because these are just specifically going to be for meat and pelts. Now I did cross Honey with Darius, and I do plan to keep a daughter out of that breeding because I like my Honey line too. Honey is actually a smaller chestnut doe. I've got one daughter so far. No, I've got two daughters so far out of her that I've kept. Magnificent, which is a steel doe, and I plan to keep a daughter from her, and she's got kits at her side right now. I plan to keep a daughter out of her. I want to try to get a few more steels if possible. And then, like I said, I crossed her to Darius, so I definitely want to try to keep a daughter out of her. And then I crossed Princess back to Darius again, and I'm thinking about keeping a white possible. If she has a white daughter out of that crossing, I'll keep one of those because I don't have any pure white with red eye does right now, but I have rabbits that throw them. Almost every rabbit I have throws whites. At least 2. I guarantee to get 1, but minimum of 2 in each litter, usually. So, with the lines that I've got going on, I've got a broken blue doe that was from a blue doe that I had, which was out of Honey, that passed away last year. Her kits were roughly about 4 weeks old or so when she passed away. I'm not sure what happened. I really don't know. I think maybe she just had a heart attack and died. But she was on the bigger side. She was a Samson daughter, my blue buck. And I have one broken blue, and I'm not sure if it's a doe or buck, but I want to keep it if it's a doe. She was crossed to Elijah, and I'm hoping to keep that. And that's actually with Princess's litter sister, which is my other black doe that I have, Iris. So I really was thinking about possibly keeping a doe from her too, but I think I'm not gonna. I'm gonna wait to cross, maybe cross her to my broken orange buck or something, and maybe keep a daughter from that breeding. But I really gotta try to not keep them all. I would love to, but in all reality, it costs too much money, and you got to buy cages to add more cages, and I'm running out of space for a hut. I've got to get another hut built or something, or have outside cages, and I'm just not sure if I want to keep doing that. I got to get more feed out cages built. It's a lot to have to deal with, but I know for a fact that I will have the buyers for my rabbit furs, and I'm gonna start making mittens too from rabbit furs. I think that would be wonderful to make. I'm super excited. It's like God has lit a fire underneath me, and I am like raring and ready to go, even though there are days where my eyesight is not the greatest. But I have next week is my eye appointment that Billy and I have got to go to in Ann Arbor, Michigan, at the University of Michigan, to have some more testing ran. That's on the 30th. So hopefully I'll do a video that day, give you guys the information what we have back from the doctor. And I'm still taking my steroid prednisone eye drops 4 times a day. I'm eating nothing that has any weed in it to try to keep the inflammation down, so I can get the surgery done on my right eye to get the lens put back where it should be, and then get the huge cataract that's in my left eye out, so maybe my vision can just be good enough that I could do the things that I want to do here, like sewing, raising my rabbits, doing my goat milk beauty products, raising goats, and raising food for ourselves here, and making beautiful products that others will enjoy. So that was my chat for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to go out and get my chores done. I want to make my tea. I don't know if I should just wait till I get back in and then go ahead and drink it. Maybe the water would be cooled down some, but either way, I got to get my Eye Bright tea and my Mushroom Wellness tea bag into a tea cup and get that stewing, and then go do my chores, because I know I've got rabbits that are thirsty. But thankfully our weather is about 20 degrees, so stuff shouldn't freeze quite as bad as when you're negative 22. So thank you guys again for being here. Thank you for viewing. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Till next time. God bless you all.